Hello everybody, it's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Just popping in for our Tuesday night lights. Hope you had a fabulous day today. And we'll just wait and see who pops on. Oh, hi Kathy, thanks for popping in. Hope you had a fabulous day and a fabulous Melbourne Cup day. We didn't do anything for the Melbourne Cup, but except watch the race and not put a bet on. Oh, it's windy. Oh, we had a bit of wind this morning and rain, but it seems to have cleared up. I'm hoping it's clear. Hi, Lynn. How are you? How's the weather where you are? Oh, you didn't put a bet on either. Yeah, well, I was in the process of trying to work out for the first time how to use an app to put a bet on, and I got a phone call from a friend, and right as I'm trying it, and so I didn't end up putting it on. So anyway, so we'll just wait for a couple more minutes and excuse me. Hi Jody, hope you're having a really lovely day, and hope you managed to put a bet on, because Kathy and I didn't on the Melbourne Cup. I did watch the race though. I had my pink champagne ready and my hat ready, but we didn't go anywhere, so that was a bit sad. Yeah, so we'll just wait a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. And tonight is all about Regals. Now there might be a bit of a delay in internet connection. Oh, it's cold and windy. Isn't it always cold and windy down your way? Oh no, you're just starting to feel, I'm sorry to hear you were sick, Jody. Oh. It only got to 8 where you are, Lynn. Oh, goodness me. And here we are sweltering, and the air conditioning guy came to give us a quote, and I'm thinking, oh, can he do it tomorrow? He can't, but anyway, so hopefully I'm still here. Oh, it's freezing. Goodness me. I'm trying to watch the comments, and so comments on my phone are different to the ones that are showing up on my iPad, so I'm going to have to go with the iPad. Alright, so let's get started. Happy Melbourne Cup Day, everyone. Happy 1st of November. And today is actually a pretty exciting day in the Stampin' Up world, because they they released an early release product from the mini catalogue, and it's the Fitting Florets collection. Now, I didn't know my printer could print double-sided. Oh, it's pouring there too. It was pouring this morning, Jody. So our door guy didn't come yet again to fix the door. Allegedly, he's coming tomorrow, but this will be the 6th time that he's tried to come to fix it. And until we get the door fixed, we can't get the floor fixed or anything else done. But anyway, so this product has been available to demonstrators for about a month, and it's a really beautiful suite. I have to admit, I didn't get the papers because I have so much paper. I want to see what's available in the next mini catalogue before I buy any more paper. So what comes in this collection is the framed florets stamp set, and I know some of you are going, oh no, not more flowers. But these are pretty flowers and they have some really good words in it. So that's why I actually bought them, because I don't buy a lot of flowers. I hope so too, Jodie. I want it done before my Christmas party, so yes. And then the other thing it has is matching dies. Now these dies are really, really amazing. And to be honest, I bought it just for the dies. And I only bought the stamp set because when it retires, I did like the sentiments, but they weren't a game changer for me. It was just these dies because they're very vintage looking. Now this one's interesting because it doesn't actually cut out the oval. It just puts an oval of hearts on your project. And if you have the old layering ovals framelets, so these are really, really old because they've got the green packaging. But if you have these, they are sort of, almost, oops, that's the wrong one, that's the layering circles. I've got layering, I wonder where the layering ovals went. Picked up the wrong one. The layering oval one, there's one that is, I should check stuff before I go on air. There's one that is just a bit bigger than this, and it is almost the same shape and a little bit bigger, so you can cut it out and it does work. So this one here, it cuts out a piece out of the middle, it cuts out a frame. So if you were just wanting to use it as one piece, you'd have to, before you take it out of the die, you need to put some tape over the two pieces that are cut because it automatically cuts them. This one also cuts out a frame and the oval in the inside, so they're pretty cute though. So I really like them, and I really like the leaves that go with them, and obviously they've got the dies that go with the stamps. And the other part of that collection, so these will be in the dies and stamps will be in the new mini catalogue. The other part of the collection, which is while stocks last, is a framed and festive cling stamp. So I've already used it once. So these are all Christmas ones, and they coordinate perfectly with the dies. And you may have seen these on World Card Making Day. All right. There are some, there are some gold swirly embellishments. I couldn't get those at the time I ordered mine, but they're available again now, so that's good. And there is some pattern paper. So I've put a link up on the creativeeclectic.com with a video of all of the products, and you can buy them as a whole suite or you can buy individual items, and they're very, very cute. So the reason I'm showing you that is because I am using one of the stamps from this frame florets stamp set today. So enough about that new promotion. I just wanted to tell everybody, oh, the swirly embellishments, I don't know, it's not a real good printout. It's like they're gold. I don't know if you can see, what if I do it that way? They're gold, and it's like they come out from the center, so there's like a gold swirl sort of a thing. I don't know. Let me just try. I'll turn up one of the other lights and see if that makes it any less funny. No, it doesn't really. So yeah, I hope that helps, okay? They're really cute. All right, so I've ordered those, but they're not here yet. All right, so it's important to remember that this is a photopolymer stamp set. So when you are stamping with it, you either need to use your stamp apparatus with your foam mat or with a deluxe foam mat. This is my new stamp apparatus, but my old plates and my old mat. Anyway, and or you need to use a piercing mat or a foam piece underneath it when you stamp. Okay? All right. Okay. Oh, you forgot to get the sayings one, the framed and festive one, Jodie. Okay. So today we did a bit of a vote on my Facebook group and on my Facebook page, and only one person voted for neutrals. Everybody else voted for Regals. So this is the Regals colour family. We've got Rich Raspberry. This is for people who don't know. Blackberry Bliss, Cherry Cobbler, Real Red, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie. This pumpkin pie, I have used it so much over the past few weeks because, you know, Halloween. Crushed Curry, Old Olive, Garden Green, and Shaded Spruce. Now, I did have a project I was going to show you, and somehow this afternoon, in the mess that is my craft table preparing for the market that we're doing Friday night, I can't find the stamp. Steve's looked for it, I've looked for it, can't find it. So I had to go with a plan B, all right? So we're going to use these colours, and we're doing a quick, easy card tonight. And we're going to also use, from the mini catalogue, the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper, because that has the Misty Merlot, Cajun Craze, and Crushed Curry in it. It also has Mossy Meadow, which, if I hold them together, you'll see that you might not be able to see, but you see Old Olive and Mossy Meadow are in the same, have the same yellow sort of tones in it. So Mossy Meadow is sort of a step up or step down from the Old Olive. So you can get away with using Old Olive with that one. So I only have half a pack of this paper because I shared it with a girlfriend, and we are using this very first paper. So I've cut it up, but I will show you how it comes. So basically, when you cut it into 6, you get 6 card fronts. So I'm just trying to see which way. So, and it sort of goes like, the paper goes sort of like that, I think. Got to remember. Oh, this one might go here. It's like a jigsaw, putting it back together. Where's that last piece? Oh, so it's this piece over here. So it's got, when the paper comes, it comes like this. And then this one goes there. No, it doesn't. This one goes over here. So this is how it comes. So I cut mine to 5 5/8 by, so it's 5 5/8 by, so I cut the whole sheet in half, then cut it 5 5/8 by, and then cut it 4 inches, and then I cut each down into 3 7/8 to get me a good card front size. So it's a really beautiful piece of paper, and it makes really good, quick and easy cards. So what I am going to show you tonight is nothing fancy, because it's Melbourne Cup Day and some people may have had a few wines. Not me, but other people may have had a few wines, and we're going to just be relaxed, and I'm not going to take up your whole night and put you to sleep. So I've got 6 different coloured card bases. Whoops. Crushed curry, pumpkin pie, and so they're all from the Regals family. Cajun Craze, Rich Raspberry, Blackberry Bliss, and Old Olive. I've also got some ribbon. Now, for some reason, I don't have any thin white ribbon in my stash. So I pulled out this frayed ribbon, and personally I think it's a bit too wide for what I wanted it for. So I've cut some strips. I've got a strip here that I'm just going to cut in half down the middle. I'm hoping everyone's still watching and we didn't get interrupted. Internet is so dodgy at the moment. So, do we like this paper? That's probably the first question. Then everybody can answer my question and I can see who's still here. And while you're telling me that we like this, oh, hi Glenda! Welcome back and happy birthday. Oh, it's nice to see you. Got my dodgy scissors. Gotta get a pair of scissors that actually cut. I hope your holiday was lovely, Glenda. You love that DSP. Oh, that's really good. I'm glad people like it. Yes, it's a nice DSP. So I'm just cutting this ribbon. Now this is a frayed white ribbon, and it is supposed to look messy, all right? So I'm going with a bit of a rustic look today. Now, if my scissors were clean, they would be cutting this beautifully, but these ones, I don't know, they're not cutting the best. So, anyway, so the next thing I want to do, and this makes a bit of an annoying sound, and I'm not going to do it on all of them, only a couple. I'm going to get the edge of my scissors, and I'm just going to wrap up the edge of my paper. Now, I'm only going to do this on 3 of them, so sorry if the noise annoys you. Whoop. It doesn't matter if it tears like that. If you had a one of the old Stampin' Up distressing tools, you could use that instead. So I'm making it look a bit vintage, and I just want to show you different ways to do this. Now you could use if you've got nails like me, you could use fingernails, you could use a bit of a sanding block, however you want to do this. Oh, you're still on the bus. Oh, goodness me. I don't know, you could have stayed here, Glenda. I'm in Brisbane, it's not. And then you could have caught the bus bright and early, but I know when you're coming home from holidays, you just want to get home. Like, especially coming from, like, Norfolk or New Zealand or something, even though it's not that long a flight, it's still a whole day of travelling. Alright, so we'll only do 2 like this, and we'll do the others the other way. Now, if you're watching from America, which I know that some of my American friends will watch the replay, you can, you don't have to cut your cardstock down if you just basically cut your CSP into 6 equal pieces and trim it however you need to trim it for your card base. It'll still work. Okay, so we've got these out the way. Now, the other thing that we have is some strips of white. And I've got some white pieces for the inside. I'm using white. Normally when I work with the Regals collection, a lot of the time I will use vanilla, but because this paper already has white in it, I'm not going to use vanilla. So, okay. So I have my punch, and I'm going to just punch out my 6 rectangles. And I'm punching these out of thick white. Oops, I got a little. And I'm going to keep one of these pieces as a template for my Stamparatus, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Now, if I was only doing 1, I would stamp it and then punch it. But because I'm doing 6, I'm going to punch then stamp. Now, what I am going to show you works really well for die cuts as well. So how many have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I'll do an extra one just in case. Okay. And this will be a little template. Okay. The other thing that I need is my Stamparatus. So, move this over here. I've put some tape around my magnets. Now this tape isn't washi tape. It is a much stronger tape. So did anyone have a win on the cup today? Like I'm hoping someone won something. My friend from New Zealand, she went out for lunch and she won something, so I was really happy for her. I was wondering where my invite for lunch was, but it was probably a bit far for me to go to Noosa and have lunch with her. So, but hopefully I'll get to do that with her before she goes back. Now I'm using the Celebrate stamp from the new framed florets thing. Framed florets thing. Say that 10 times fast. That's really hard. And I am going to stamp that in Rich Raspberry. Rich Raspberry? Yes. I'm just lining it up. And I can move my, I'm going to have to move more magnets because it's not going to stick. I've had a week of my hands and my brain aren't working this week. It's just a change of season. Okay. What I'm going to do first is I'm just going to stamp this. So when you're using a stamparatus, put your stamp case underneath your platform. Now, if you've got stamping spots, use those instead of a big ink pad, because they are much easier. So I'm going to line up my negative of my punch space. If I had some tape here, I would just put tape on it, but don't, so I'm just going to, that looks reasonably straight to me. And so now I'm just going to pop my little piece in. And ink it up. You see how there's messy ink everywhere? That's what happens when you use a big ink pad on a small stamp. So as you can see, nice and straight. And we are going to stamp these more than once. Turn that over to the magical other side because I've got a bit of ink on my finger and rubbed it all over it. Yes, so I rang my mum today and I asked if her and Dad watched The Cup, and they both had a nap instead. I thought, that's no fun. At least I watched it. We used to always watch it with my grandmother, and we'd have like our own little high tea and biscuits and cucumber sandwiches, and we'd all dress up. It was just lovely. But then when all of us went to work and we all had kids and had to work, and that sort of fell by the wayside after my grandmother passed away. But I think next year my sister and I are going to do something. So that would be nice. Hi Doreen, welcome back. Hope you're having a lovely day. We were just talking about that it's Melbourne Cup Day here. So it's sort of like the equivalent of Derby Day, Kentucky Derby, like it's sort of the richest horse race in Australia. And it basically stops the nation. When my sister-in-law arrived from New Hampshire, she arrived on Melbourne Cup Day, and she didn't have any clue what Melbourne Cup Day was, and she was in the CBD of our city, and she at about 2 o'clock or 2 o'clock our time, so 3 o'clock Southern time, everybody just disappeared. And she had no clue where everybody went. And didn't realise that just about every business and every shop and every restaurant watches this horse race. And she said it was really, really eerie. She said it was like being in a deserted city. And she found the same thing was a bit like that when it came to Remembrance Day, and with everyone stopped at 11 a.m. to observe the minute silence, and she said that was really weird for her. Okay, so, oops, I made a bit of a mess there. Now I can just wash this off in water. I'm just taking most of the stuff off. Now, I said I wasn't going to stamp this more than once. I'm going to turn it over just in case I get, and I'm going to actually spray it with my stamping mist and get some of the gunk off before I turn it over. See, a bit of stamping mist and a tissue and it's as good as new. That's the problem with using Rich Razzleberry and Blackberry Bliss. I get them everywhere. Yeah. So, okay, so now we're going to use a second stamp from this flame floret, that framed floret set, and it's just a little leaf. I might use more than one leaf. So Jodie will be happy to know I'm absolutely winging it since I lost the stamp, and it's a rubber stamp that I lost, and it's massive, but I don't know where it's gone. And we're just going to put, even though these leaves don't match the paper, I want to have a bit of greenery on it. So, and they're only using sections of the leaves. Oh, Night of Navy goes everywhere. Oh, Night of Navy is not so bad for me, but Blackberry Bliss is like my arch enemy. And same with Cherry Cobbler. If there's Cherry Cobbler, I will have it everywhere. I've been known to even get it on my face. So we're doing the same thing as we did before with these little, and I'm using the old olive ink. And I'm just putting a little bit of detail on. Now, I like where that bottom one is, but I need a bit more detail on the top one. So I'm just going to move it down a little bit, or move it along a little bit, just so that it gets a bit more on there. Okay. So what's everyone's got planned for the month? Can you believe that it's the 1st of November? I just cannot believe it. We didn't even have any trick-or-treaters for Halloween last night. The fact that I forgot to put out the little balloon to say stop at our house might have something to do with it, but like on one of the Facebook groups I'm on, some of these people had thousands of trick-or-treaters. They must be in Melbourne or somewhere like that. And it's just amazing. I'm really fascinated by the whole Halloween phenomenon, since that's not something that was a big thing as we were growing up. But my niece has the most spectacular Halloween party. I was looking at the photos, well, my niece-in-law, and some of the people went all out with their costumes. My other niece went as she go as a garden fairy, and one niece went as an angel, and another niece went as Jack Skeleton, and my nephew went as Beetlejuice, and his wife went as Leela. I think she's also from Beetlejuice. And yeah, so I thought it was really fun. They just had such a fun time. Did anyone get any trick-or-treaters last night? Very quiet tonight. Okay, as I said, I'm making 6 cards, so these are reasonably quick once you have all the prep done. And I wanted to show you how you can use the same paper and have it look completely different on different backgrounds. So that's the whole purpose of tonight, as well as challenging myself to use Regals, because really I only use what are those colours? I use Real Red, Cherry Cobbler, and I love having them two days. You're getting old. I don't believe that you're getting old. Kathy, what's... Oh. My dad says age is just a number. And I guess he turns 87 next January. So, alright. So let's start putting these together. So first up, we're going to start with the easy bit. And we're just going to pop the yellow. So this is our crushed curry. So I've just put my card 1/4 of an inch smaller, or thereabouts. Try and put it in straight. He's 30 years older than you. Oh. So you're a spring chicken, Kathy. Yeah. Well, my husband's in his 60s, so, well. And it's funny, as you get older, you don't think of people, your friends getting older. Like, you don't think, oh, they're really old. They're just the same. Oh, you had your grandson's birthday and trick-or-treaters. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Was it a good birthday for your grandson? Like a significant one or a little one? Well, I guess all birthdays are significant. We make it a birthday week. If I can stretch it out, I make it a birthday month. Unfortunately, my 50th birthday was at smack bang in the middle of COVID, so my plans to meet my American sister-in-law in the Caribbean got cancelled. Steve's 60th was in the middle of COVID as well, and so his plans to go and celebrate at a castle in Scotland, they were thwarted as well. So we have to wait to our 55th and 65th birthdays respectively to go. Okay, now I've got all of my insides in my cards. Now you can decorate those if you like. I'll put a sentiment on later. Well, you had a little family gathering and he got his everything Spider-Man. Oh, that's so cool. I love that kids still love Spider-Man. My ex-mother-in-law, she told me that when her boys were little, they wouldn't read, and someone told her that just get them to read comics. Doesn't matter if they don't do anything else, just get them to read comics. And her 3 boys, she had 6 kids, and 3 boys all just devoured the comics, and the youngest one was a real Spider-Man fan. And so even now, as an adult, he loves Spider-Man. And so, and they all had their own take on which one they like. Now, I'm using Seal Plus to put my ribbon on, just because I've trimmed it. And I think that the Seal Plus will stop it from fraying any further. Now, let's get my bone folder. I did clean it and put it somewhere safe, but I don't know where it is. Yes, that's a problem when you're prepping for so many things at the same time. So I'm prepping for a market this week. I'm doing swaps for on stage next week, and a secret sister gift for my friend in America. One of my friends in America. She won't divulge which one, because otherwise it won't be a secret anymore. And yeah, so yeah, there's lots happening on my table. So I've got like a 2-foot square piece of my table that is clear enough for me to do videos on. And my husband's watching TV, even though I told him he had to have the sound down and he wasn't allowed to watch because it would be on the video. So I'm hoping he didn't hear that cheering, whatever that was. I don't even know what he's watching. Ooh. Now, I haven't really been thinking about what colour base I'm putting my cards on. I just knew that I didn't want a very big border. The only problem with using a Seal Plus is that you don't have a lot of wriggle room if you don't stick it on right. So it's only a 7/8 of an inch from top to bottom, but I don't think I trimmed it left to right, which I might have to go back and do this one. This one I didn't put any Seal Plus on the bottom there, so let's pop that down there. So you can just make sure you've got Seal Plus underneath where your ribbon goes as well. Normally I wouldn't put the Seal Plus on the paper, so I'm doing everything a bit different today. I'll do it this way. This one's got lots of razzleberry in it, but it's also got lots of Cajun craze, so I might go this one. Now, I think I've done the ribbon about an inch and a bit from the bottom. I'm not real good with measurements. About that much anyway. I could measure it if you really want me to. So let's see what we're doing. Now when you cut that frayed ribbon, you will get lots of little pieces. So make sure that you have got heaps of Seal Plus on it to stop it from fraying too much. And try not to get it between the paper and the cardstock. I've got it everywhere. It's like glitter. I am still recovering from the whole sequins episode last week where I found sequins everywhere. But this week it's I'm finding little bits of this stuff everywhere. Right. So haven't got long to go. Well, so this is 6 really easy cards. Now I'm taking a bit of a lesson from my friend Vicky because often in her Facebook Lives she will make 10 cards or 12 cards. So I thought 6 is probably enough, and especially because they're the best colours to go with the paper. Now I know the paper doesn't have pumpkin pie in it, so but just bear with me and you'll see that it's not too bad. Now if you wanted to use a different colour, for your sentiment, say the other colour I thought about using, but I'm trying to only use the Regals, was the early espresso, and so I didn't cut this one right, so I'm going to have to do some post cutting on this one. I don't know why I didn't cut it right. That must be because of that stupid big to-do list. So we've got lots of little bits down the bottom. So what flavour Spider-Man cake did he have, Kathy? Please tell me it was something yummy like white chocolate or salted caramel. Salted caramel would have to be my favourite flavour. Oops, I forgot to put my ribbon on. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to where I have to have my camera because I've got a new setup, and you might have noticed I've got a new background, which now I've just got sticky stuff all over, but that's okay. So yeah, I got these new backgrounds the other day, so I thought they might be a bit easier for you to see than the grid paper. But I do prefer working on grid paper because I can line up things easier. I'm just going to put a bit on here. Now, part of the good thing about distressing the edges of your paper is that if it doesn't line up really well, it doesn't matter because it looks like it's supposed to be like that. See, I'm all about hiding mistakes. So we'll go on to the last one. Okay. We had chocolate cake. Oh. When I was a kid, I used to like chocolate cake. Not so much as an adult. Okay, so this Seal Plus is finished. Let's get another one. It couldn't wait until I got the last one finished, could it? Had to run out. Now, I have dropped this one on the floor, so I don't know if it's going to work. but we'll give it a go, okay? Oh, beautiful. And again, I messed up and I didn't put the seal across the front. Oh, it's sticking to my backdrop. Oh. Don't try this at home, people. This is not what not to do instead of not what to wear. Okay, so make sure you put the bit on the front first. All right. Also have to put something over top of that so we don't stick everything to it. So we're on to our last one. Now, if you wanted to make those really, really rustic, what you could have done is actually screwed the paper up into a ball, like misted it with water, screwed it into a ball, and made it really wrinkly as well as distressing the edges. So that would have been a pretty cool effect. Bit more along here and along here. So this is the one I've dropped. So see, because I dropped it, this is what happens. It curls back up on itself, and really what I should do is, since I've dropped it, chuck it in the bin, because it's just going to cause issues. Right, so that's the last one there. Okay, so we've got all our colours done. I'm still tracking on time. We have got some dimensionals. We've got some dimensionals. Now that's what you... I tried to do something quick and easy, and getting home at 12 and getting everything done before school pick up. Oh, I don't envy her, really. I think parents need medals, really, especially if you've got more than one. My mother-in-law had 6. I mean, my mum had 4, but my mother-in-law had, ex-mother-in-law had 6. And 3 boys and 3 girls, and let me tell you, they were all rebels, and I'm surprised she didn't drink, really. Okay, so we've got our little sentiments, so just going to pop them over. Now, I do like to put 3 dimensionals on these because I don't want them to sag. Now, if you were not short on time, you could ink around the edges of those sentiments, or so there's lots of things that you can do to step this card up. So you can make it more vintage, you can ink edges, you can splatter it with some Winkstella. I don't even know where my Winkstella is. I don't know that I have any left, to be honest. Oh, that's what's so good about lives. Yes, what not to do is good about lives. Now, if you wanted to, because I cut this out with the current Duo punch, you could have cut a coordinating piece of cardstock in the same colour as your base and layer these 2 together, because they layer beautifully. But I didn't have any scraps left of those, so I wasn't going to... Yes, we are, and we are adding bling, Jodie. I wasn't going to forget that this week. Now, and if we have time at the end, I'm going to show you something that I created that's not a Regals, but with the frame from this bundle. And I think I've showed you last week, maybe. But I think it's a really great frame, and I'm a little bit in love with it. Yes. And if I can find that stamp, I'll be able to show you something fabulous next week. Now, don't forget that this week is mystery stamping on Saturday. So it's from 10 a.m. Queensland time, so that's 10:30 South Australian time, 11 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Time, so Sydney and Melbourne, and anyone else who does daylight savings in the eastern states. Does Tasmania do daylight savings? I don't know. And I don't know what time it is in Perth. So sorry about that, my Perth viewers. I don't know what time it will be your time, and I definitely cannot work out the time difference between Australia, Europe, and the UK and the US. Okay, so now we're up to our very last step. I'm getting rid of this, all these little bits off the table. We've got all these little pieces on the floor. So what I'm going to do with this piece is I will get a little clear envelope and I will pop that extra sentiment in the front of that stamp set. So it'll be, so then when I go to use it and I need something that I've already done, I can do that. I don't have to stamp. All right, let's look at the bling. Today I thought we would use the iridescent basic jewels. The reason I'm using these is because they really easily pick up the colour in our background. So when you put them on, I've used all the little ones actually. I seem to be a bit addicted to those, so I might have to use some big ones today. When you pop them on, we don't need too many, but I think we need a few. Just some middle-sized ones. They're going to pick up all those, the purples and the Cajun craze and the crushed curry. So they're picking up those colours, but they're still sparkling. So I don't know if you can see those. So, and I'm just putting them on randomly. And if I had some little tiny ones left, I would put them on the butterfly as well. So, putting them around the top. Because I'm only using 3, I'm going to just put them in a triangular pattern. And that way, that's really pleasing to the eye, is having a triangle as sort of a shape. So it's sort of one of the things that they teach you when you do art classes and in gardening and landscaping. You'd always have something in triangle patterns and in odd numbers. So and these iridescent rhinestones are just beautiful. I don't use them enough actually, but I'm sure that most of my rhinestones and things are going to be run out. Oh, so it's 6:30 in the WA, so they are 2 hours behind us, 3 hours behind you. Okay. Do they have daylight savings, or is that just in daylight savings time, Kathy, that time difference is like that? When I worked for the federal government, I used to have team members in Perth, and so it was a nightmare trying to organise my team meeting for when you got a team member in Perth, one in Townsville, one in Adelaide, one in Wollongong, and 4 in Brisbane, trying to get a time where everybody was at work, because all the Brisbane and the Queensland people all started early, like we would start at 7:30 so that we could leave by 4, or we'd start between 7 and 7:30, and so we could leave by 4. And then but the Perth person, she was a 9 a.m. starter, but that made it really difficult because that put it right in the middle of our lunchtime. And if you left it any later, the Sydney and Wollongong people would be going home. So it was a bit of a challenge. And I do miss my team, but I don't miss that trying to organise people to be all together in the same phone call. And that was long before COVID. So it was teleconferences were just a way of life, really. So it was actually funny to see them be embraced by so many other people. They had daylight saving times. Oh, it is in daylight saving time. So here we have our very different cards, or very different coloured base cards, all using the same paper. How about I move my little name up? From the Regals Collection. So I think that I managed to get the whole collection, the best papers in there. So, and I actually quite like the pumpkin pie, because even though none of the pumpkin pie colours of the flowers are pumpkin pie, it still coordinates. So tell me what you think. So this is a reasonably quick card. The hardest part is not sticking yourself to the not sticking everything to your background paper. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yes, Kathy, it's really easy to forget. Well, we get up early anyway, but our issue is that we want to talk to our friends in New Zealand, and they have daylight savings and we don't, and so that means that we have to remember that our 6 o'clock is much, much later. They're already almost in bed. So which is your favourite colour out of these cards? So let's go through them. So we've got our Cajun Craze, and that picks up the flowers. Crushed curry. I really quite like the crushed curry. And you're going to just have to, you might have to spray the ribbon with hairspray. That might stop it from fraying. Then we've got pumpkin pie, a bit partial to that one. The Old Olive. Now, Old Olive was the first ink pad that I bought after my Versamark ink pad when I first started stamping. That's a bit of trivia for you. So I'm going to tell you lots of trivia over the next few weeks, and then we'll see what you remember. Okay, and then we have Rich Raspberry. So even though this paper is actually not a Regals, I thought it was Rich Raspberry, but when I look at the book, it actually says it's Mary Merlot, but I think it's closer to Rich Raspberry. And then we've got our wonky Blackberry Bliss. So what is your favourite? They're all pretty. Oh. Yeah, so I do agree they are really pretty. And yeah, so that is our Regals, Creating with Regals Easily class. And I really do like this paper because you can colour it in. So for my swaps that I am doing for on stage, I'm using the black and white, and I've also used those pumpkins. And on another swap I've used the Mossy Meadow, and I'm using the reverse side of that paper. So it's got really easy to colour, and yes. Alright, and I promised I'd show you a little card using a frame, and I think I showed you this last week with the frame from the Frame Florets bundle. So this is, and yes, it's not Regals, but I just wanted to let you know that you can use it with other things, not just with the bundle that it comes with. Alright, so Jodie likes crushed curry or pumpkin pie, and Kathy likes Cajun craze. Yeah, I think the Cajun craze is, I like that colour, and I think that it's a really underestimated colour. It's very good if you're doing autumn sort of scenes, or you're wanting to do distressed vintage stuff. That would be, it's one of my go-tos for that. Like if you want a paper that's an aged look or something. All right, so that's it from me tonight. I will see you on Saturday morning for mystery stamping, the craft along, and the first clue should be up on the website tomorrow. Failing any catastrophe with IT, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Everyone have a great evening, and we will see you, if we don't see you Sunday, we'll see you next week. And I do hope you like the cards, and they are really simple and much simpler than I normally do, but I thought it's good to keep things simple sometimes too, and not overcomplicate things and spend hours making one card when I spent an hour making 6. So, and if you can't join in for mystery stamping, it will be on replay on both Facebook, and I will upload it to YouTube. So thank you very much for giving up your Tuesday night with me, especially since it's Melbourne Cup night. And yes, I hope to see you there, Kathy. And thanks so much for your time. You have a great evening, and until next time, happy creating. Bye for now.